Nice to see you, Izzy. How is everybody today? As you can see, I have this lovely lady with me as we wait for some people to join in. We have Sun Psychic Jean joining on the channel today. She's also streaming on her own channel. So welcome to everyone. Sun Psychic Jean, would you like to introduce yourself to anybody who doesn't know you? I know that we don't have many people in yet. Maybe we should just chit chat for a second, but whatever you'd like to do. Yeah.
Well, I'm a psychic and a medium, and I was born here on YouTube. And I started with Allie, Heart and Soul Connected, after I took some classes, and she brought me onto her channel so that we could practice, doing readings online. And she encouraged me. She's like, Jean, you need to get your own channel. And I was like, I don't know if I can do it. She said, if I can do it, you can do it. So I eventually started my own channel, and that was about 3 or 4 years ago. Actually, maybe 3 years ago. And it's the rest is history.
Well, very interesting. That's kind of my story as well. So, but I waded in slowly. You jumped in with both feet, and I admire that. So, very, very nice. Very nice. Yep. And that's kind of the best way I think to do it is just to go for it because we can practice all the time, all day long, if we want. We can take endless classes, but it's until we really kind of put ourselves on the line that we begin to trust ourselves more and the messages come. Would you agree?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And I feel fortunate that the messages that come through uh, from the questions that are asked, it really expands my awareness, and some of the things that comes through I would have never guessed. I learned so much from the responses that come through. And I feel like, people say, well, how many years of experience do you have? And I feel like I have like 30 years of experience, because even if you had 30 years of experience, you would only do one reading a week, or one or two readings a week if you were, not online. But here we're doing so many, so fast, so many different ones, that and the diversity and just the uh, some of the some of the information that comes through, I would have never been able to gain all that experience if I only did it for 3 years.
I 100% agree. I mean, I think those of us who are drawn to this have been practicing, um, even in our sleep for longer than we know, right? Unconsciously practicing this for longer than we know. And I just want to say hi to a few folks. We said hello to Izzy. Here's Craig Dixon. Hi, CJ. Blackface Smile, Ethan. 50 Shades. I love that. 50 Shades of Bish. Tanita. Izzy again. And Izzy, yes, we are going to take some questions here in a moment. We're just going to have a little chit chat for a second. We'll take your personal questions, and you're okay with that? Personal questions or anything related to mediumship works for me. Even animals. Yeah. Yes. I've
Yeah,
seen you do
yeah.
some animal work. Yes.
Some of the most really heart-wrenching messages come through. And I also do psychic fairs, and I do what they call reading the room, where there's like maybe 30 or 40 people in the room, and they put their hand up, and I ask them, what their question is, and then I give the a reading for them. And somebody's grandfather came through, and she was like, really kind of getting upset. And then somebody else's mother came through, and they were kind of upset. And then lady down front, she wanted to know about her dog, and I was bringing her dog through. She was just full on ugly cry, couldn't contain herself, was crying and crying and crying. I mean, the emotion that comes through from our pets, I truly feel that unconditional love, that connection with our pets is
Mhm,
is so spiritual and such a soul connection. It is so much. I mean, and not to say that we don't love our friends and family. It is just different. It is just is so personal, so private, so, we
Pure.
confide
I
in
feel
our
like it's
pets.
pure. Yes, pure.
It's
I
pure.
I absolutely agree with you. There is such a we love our mother, our father, our children, everybody. Of course we do. But that is a special connection for many people. That and I do feel like animals are really close to that angelic realm. They have this again, this purity of energy. They are who they are. They don't have ego attached to them. So when we connect with them, we're not tuning into any of that ego stuff. It's just they are who they are. And their love for you is infinite. Yeah.
They love
That's
us
really
for exactly who we are too. Yeah.
exactly, and I think they see us for who we are versus who as humans, we see each other's egos, and we get tangled up in that karmic stuff. Animals aren't that way. So I agree with you 100%. So I see some questions coming in, and I'll post this in the banner really quickly that we can take some questions. But and I will start starring your questions. But I would like Jean to talk about some of the where I know later you have a show with. Did you say it was with Heart and Soul Connected, or who was that with?
It's with the Crone Zone. It's,
The Crone
the
Zone.
ladies, Heather and Priscilla are on the Crone Zone, and they host a wisdom circle once a month, every the first Monday of every month, and we all take it's, myself, Terry Suzuki, Joan, Wisdom Seeker Joan, and Pure Visionary Terry Lee, and we all get together once a month, and we, bring up a topic, have a discussion, and then talk about it, or have a presentation and then talk about it. And later on today, I'm going to be talking about cleansing and balancing your chakras. And we're going to be doing like a live exercise on the show. And I know that a lot of people have felt it's a tough time of year for a lot of people. And, you know, a lot of people are feeling wounded and maybe not quite themselves. And this is a live chakra cleansing and balancing that is I'm going to ask you to put down and put a number down for how you're feeling, like between 1 and 5, and then when we're done the exercise, I'm going to ask you again, and just because our vibration raises, just by intention, and it's going to be a lot of fun. Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Well, I love that. I think that's going to be a lot of fun. And I do think it sounds to me like you might subscribe to the same philosophy. When I do healing work, and some of you may not know, I also do healing work, like Sun Psychic Gene. It's kind of where I got my start. I I feel into the emotion that's behind the physical pain, right? I actually subscribe to the theory that most physical health issues are are come about because of unresolved emotion. I think in many cases, and of course, we know that there are emotions that are tied up with our chakras very much, right? So,
Yes.
so very, very interesting. I look forward to seeing that. What time is that?
4 p.m. Eastern, and I guess that's 1 Pacific. Hmm.
1 Pacific. Okay. Yeah, you're on the East Coast, right?
Hmm. Hmm.
Okay. All right. I'm starring a few questions here, and maybe we can go ahead and get started. I was going to put a banner up, but I think we've got it under control, and I will just go ahead and plunge right in. Anything else you want to share about what's going on with you before we answer some questions,
I'm just
Jean?
really looking forward to getting started, and thank you very much for hosting today, Kelly. It's such a treat, and I love having you being together with you, doing a collab. It's a lot of fun.
Oh, great. Somebody said it's 11:11 in California. Oh, yes, the angels are speaking to us, aren't they? I love it. It's 12:11 here. Okay. All right. I'm in the mountain time zone. All right, well, let's go ahead and get started with Ms. Sherlock. I have this question here. Does my late close friend TK have a message for me? He was called TK by everyone. Joseph is the real name. Okay. All right. We're just both going to tune into that for a moment, and whoever's ready first can go first. All right. Okay.
So I see clouds right away. I feel like he's telling me he's in heaven, in case you're wondering. He's also showing me himself with angel wings on, or an angel, I should say. I can't tell if this is him. I'm not sure if he was religious, but he's showing me more of a religious type of imagery in my mind's in my third eye here. He's letting you know that he's making me feel like there is a lighter existence on the other side, that he has transcended and is lifted above what he was here in this 3D world. He's saying not to have any regrets or grudges or reservations about anything that was said, wasn't said, was done, wasn't done. He's saying, leave that all behind. That's all just details, you know. It's really not what's important. What's important is your heart and your soul connection. And he just wants you to know that that you will see each other again. And he wants you to know that you have a beautiful heart, and he's sending you blessings, and he is one watching over you. He's showing me, I'm not sure if there's a pillar somewhere with there's almost like filigree at the top of a pillar. Do you go to, I don't know, any a place that has a pillar and some filigree at the top of the pillar? Not sure where this is from. He's also telling me that you two have had past lives together, and this is the resonance that you felt when you were together. So I'm just going to go ahead and stop there because he's going to keep going.
I get that too. He comes through for me, he comes through with a pretty powerful energy. Um, like he like punched through into like his true self, whatever that means. And I know that when we go to the other side, we're actually, you know, we're expanding into our true selves. But he really feels expansive there to me. He is showing me too that he had a bit of a wild side. Maybe he had, I don't see the religious thing necessarily, doesn't mean he didn't have both, but I see that he had a little bit of a wild side. He was a little edgy. Yes, big personality. Yes. Um and but that he also had some maybe some demons or some difficulty in his life. And he shows that he I mean, I even see like I think this is just symbolic of of what I'm seeing with this wild side. Because he's showing me like black leather and motorcycles. It may not have been him, but that's kind of like the, I lived on the edge. And so he takes a little bit of responsibility for his passing. But he comes through with such exuberance that he is like, he has this freedom there. He kind of thought he had it here, but when he got there, he was just like, wow. Um, he is a big personality, and he wants you to know how much he appreciated the love and support that you gave him in life. I feel like you also gave him some tough love in life here. Ms. Sherlock, but that he appreciates it and he understands it, and he's saying we're good, whatever that may mean. He really he feels like I do feel like he also wants to thank you too for just checking in on him. He knows that you think of him, and he just wants to he's very thankful. He hears all of your prayers and your when you have these conversations with them. So thank you so much. I hope that was helpful. Let us know if it resonated. Hi, Viviani. There she is. Okay. Oh, it says we broke up due to infidelity. Oh, yeah. Okay. There we go. All right. Let's see. Who do we have next here? And thank you, Jean. That was great. What should I be doing to improve my health? Says Crystal Fielder. Okay.
Well, the first thing I heard, Crystal, is to do the things that you already know. It's like you know that you should go to bed early. You know that you should be drinking more water. You know you should be taking walks in the morning. Whatever it is that you already know, to actually put action and make a routine. We all know what it is that is best for us, and it's really difficult to keep that in practice each and every day, each and every moment. Just like Kelly and I were discussing what we ate for Thanksgiving, and now we're back on the wagon. Like we all know these things, and what it is to keep these in practice and keep the self-respect and the honoring the vehicle, the human container that is carrying the essence of our true self. And our soul and our essence cannot do this for us. It's important for us to do this, and that's the self-love, to allow our soul's expression to be at the optimum with what we can offer. So kind of try and look at it in that type of perspective, and don't a lot of people say, well, I don't have time for that, or I have too many other things to do, which we do, but that's not honoring you have um, the first obligation or first responsibility is to yourself and to your soul's essence in order to express and to live a full and happy life. And to do this, it's important for us to put ourselves first. So I don't think there's any one thing that they want me to point out other than to implement the basic things, the real basic necessities that we understand to be good for us. And that's a good message for myself as well.
Right. Well, it's interesting because I started writing notes before you even before you started, and my first thing was water, sleep, diet. Like they really are foundational things. They're things, but the other component here is about giving yourself grace, some emotional, looking for that emotional balance. I do think your sleep might be related to that. I don't feel like you're a very good sleeper, or you wake up a lot or something like that. Maybe there are some things that you can do for your sleep hygiene, like, and I'm terrible with this, screens before bed, things like that, caffeine, oh, whatever that may be. But that's a really important component. It says to me that these are just stripping down to basics, right? And it's sort of like, just like Jean said, you know what you should be doing. We all do for the most part. We know that we shouldn't be eating, candy and drinking Coke all day, right? It's that we know that's not going to be good for us. They're simple things. And I'm not picking up on any one particular ailment. It almost sort of feels like it's just a global kind of, I just want to feel better overall. So, yeah, go back to the basics there, Crystal. Go back to basics, and start with one thing, then the next, and then the next. Don't overwhelm yourself, because I do think that there might be some anxiety, some things there that are sort of holding you in place. Um, so just start with one thing. Start with the simplest thing. Cut out the thing that's the worst for you that you eat every day or something like that, right? And then take it step by step from there. Okay. Thank you. Okay. Who do we have next? Izzy. Oh, love.
Crystal said you're absolutely right about her sleep.
Oh,
Mm-hmm.
yes. Any messages from my husband, Joe? We weren't tuning into that, but maybe we'll come back to that, Crystal. Okay. Thank you. All right. I can start for Izzy. I feel like
Mm-hmm.
this is I'm immediately being drawn to like getting out more, circulating more. And so maybe upcoming holiday parties and things like that, there may be somebody there for you, or maybe it's joining a meetup or something like that, something that helps you to just mingle with new folks. Because it feels to me like you're kind of a little bit in a rut with the people in your circle. Um, let's see here. I'm trying to tune into maybe a timeline, which is difficult. Okay. You can go if you're feeling anything.
Mm-hmm.
Gee.
They're showing me a couple of different things for you, Izzy, and I'm not sure. Something expanding. I'm also seeing trees and tree bark, almost like something graduating. Like that, you can see the lighter colored wood, and then you can see like the outside of the wood, like the natural, and then you can see the bark. You know how like it has that graduated type of feeling, and I'm also seeing crystals for you. So I'm not sure. I feel like there's an energetic frequency that is, um, I hesitate to say required, but maybe in your coming up, or there may be a shift in your frequency that may be coming up. Um, and I'm asking about love. I feel like this is, let me just use my pendulum. I'm really not getting anything. I'm not sure what she says. I can't. My mom is
She
sick.
says
I
I
don't know what
can't
that
get
means.
out. I think she's talking about getting out more. Yep.
Oh,
Mhm.
is there a unconditional love option for Izzy in the future? Yes. Is this unconditional love partner going to be in Izzy's life in 2025? It's possible. Yep. Is it going to be in Izzy's life by June of 2025? Yes. Is this going to be in Izzy's life by March of 2025? No. Is it going to be in Izzy's life by May of 2025? Yes. So it looks like you're going to be open to a unconditional love companion is what I was feeling, and I feel as though this may start out as a friendship, or you may not be interested, first of all. So there's some sort of a graduation or a development in the relationship. So it won't seem like a love right away.
That's interesting because I got that it will be someone that she knows or a friend, right? So this is somebody like who's in your life or who will enter your life that, like Jean is saying, it's like this relationship kind of creeps up on you, right? And you may even feel a little resistant to it at first. So I wrote this in my notes. Someone whatever you have to trust me. Um, but it feels as if it's going to be somebody who's, I almost feel like they're already in your sphere, at least on the periphery. But suddenly one day it's going to be like, you know, aha, we have all this in common. Why aren't we, connecting more? Um, and I'm so sorry that your mother is sick. Yeah, but it does make sense that it feels like you're gonna have some of these restrictions, like you're gonna get help or you're gonna be able to sort of get out a little bit more as we get into the new year, into the spring or something like that. And this may be where this happens. Or maybe it's an online community. I'm not sure what this is that I'm seeing, but it does feel like that kind of, you know, it's very difficult to be home with a sick parent, of course, or a sick one, but um, I feel like you do get some help or some relief there, whatever that may mean. So, yeah, I do think it's coming too. I don't feel like it's right away. I don't feel like it's like in the next 2 months or something like that. It does, I think, Jean's onto something. It could be in the middle of or toward even later in the next year. Yeah. Okay. Thank you. Good luck, Izzy, and blessings to you and your mom.
Mm. It's worth the wait for sure.
Yes. It feels, and can I just say to me, it feels like it's one of these kind of like, why didn't I notice you before kind of thing? That's how it feels to me. Is that amazing? A reading for me next 3 months.
So, Krisha, I do feel as though there's going to be a little bit of a break for you coming up around the holidays. I know you say there's hectic and chaotic energy around you, but I do feel like there's going to be a break, even though you feel like you're going to be busier or you're going to be crammed to fit things in around the holidays. But I feel like you're going to get a little bit of a break. It could be weather created or something, but wherever you can find that break, fit it in. And they're saying that this pace will not continue. It will not sustain. It will ebb and flow. And I do feel that you're going to be putting your nose to the grindstone, is what I'm hearing, and really buckling down and getting some things accomplished. And and these things do ebb and flow, and they're not going to be consistent. You can't keep up, not that you can't, but we don't want to overextend or burn the candle at both ends. Or but make sure you have, when you have those moments or you have that time off, try to make sure you do have that, reduce your own activities. Like um, just because you have time off around the holiday doesn't mean you have to travel 8 hours away and explore this wonder of the world and then come back, because you need more of a laid back kind of a break. You know what I mean? Try and schedule in that little bit of a break that you need. But I do see you really putting your nose to the grindstone. I feel like this is it feels high pressure, but it's really your time to excel. It's almost like when you're trying to cram for tests or something, and there's a lot of pressure on you. But the outcome and the wisdom and the experience and the what you gain from all of the hard work is going to be really beneficial for you. But they want you to make sure that you take time, and they're showing me ice skating. So go with the flow. Imagine yourself on ice skates and go with the flow.
Oh, wow. Ice skates. I love that. Okay, Krishna, I went ahead and pulled 2 cards for the next 3 months, and your stress and anxiety are showing up in these cards, very much so. Um, for this month, we've got the Knight of Rods or Wands and the Chariot. The Chariot, the Knight of Rods is very fast and frenetic, right? And the Chariot is also fast and frenetic. This feels like you're kind of going a mile a minute right now. I agree. You might have a little pause there during the holidays, and that's going to be really important for you because you do feel like right now everything is kind of speedy. In we reflect this in the same energy really in January. We go into the Nine of Swords and the Emperor. The Nine of Swords is about anxiety, right? Stress, anxiety, worry. But because we have this Emperor card, this says that you actually are going to be able to sort of conquer that your mind, right? You're going to conquer the monkey mind and really kind of buckle down and master that. And that's the key to not letting your mind race away with you. And then in the third month, I love this. So we still have that anxiety, but then we have the ending and this is endings and new beginnings. Okay. The moon suggests in February, you're still going to feel anxious toward the beginning of the month, but all of that comes to an end. And the World card, in this case, it feels like it's going to be a successful completion because you're moving on to something new, right? You're going to pass that. What is it? You said that you're taking accounting exams, and that's a lot. I get that. But you're going to be able to move on to the next cycle of your life. So that's really good. It just, I think what Jean is saying too is, do whatever you need to do. If it's getting outside, if it's meditating, it's getting extra sleep, whatever you need to do to sort of keep that stress at a lower level. But I don't know if we can completely erase the stress when you're studying for such a big exam. It makes sense. I think your score will be decent because you have that world card at the end. That means, I mean, if you didn't, you would probably be staying in that same stress instead of changing your cycle. So good. Yes. All right. Well, good luck to you, Krishna, and we wish you well. We all send you blessings for a successful outcome. CJ, any messages from Spirit?
So, CJ, I see you pulling up a blanket around you. They want you to stay warm, snuggle in, get a good book, put another log on the fire. I see you having some downtime, some solitude and time to think. You may want to also do some writing during this time. I know it feels like you like to read, but I feel as though writing about one of your favorite times of your life, like on a vacation that you took, or when you first got married, or whatever the joyful time in your life is. If you want to work on writing or typing this story out, I feel as though it will be something that you can reminisce, relive, and those feelings will come back and sort of infuse through you, and you'll be reminded of things that you hadn't thought of. Like, there's details in there that once you start telling this story, you'll be like, oh yeah, and this, oh yeah, and this. It's going to kind of spark other memories. And I feel as though this is something that is good for keep you optimistic and keep you shining your light. That's what I got.
Look, CJ's snuggling with a blanket right now in a snowstorm. There you go. Jean might be psychic. Okay. What I see when I tune into your energy too. Oh, CJ love to read, writing down my spiritual experiences. Hi, Riz there. Good to see you too.
Great. Thanks,
I
CJ.
feel Yeah, I feel that your guides are really kind of drawing me toward friends and family and kind of camaraderie right now, and really kind of being in that um supporting your friends. It almost feels like you are, for me, are like the comfort to others. You actually calm people down in your sphere, that you are like a touch point for other people in your life. That and this is kind of a special ability of yours. You may not even know that you're doing it, but you do have a calming influence on them, is what they're showing me. And Liz says, "Oh, that's what I thought, Kelly." Yes, and they're showing, and I do think these holiday times, if you celebrate, are going to be really important for you too. It's just that I feel like that's going to feed your soul, and it's a symbiotic relationship with your friends and your family, that they're feeding your soul, you're feeding theirs. It's a really important thing for you right now. So I hope that's helpful. Liz says she heard reach out to family. Right. And if you need anything, don't be afraid to reach out. That's the other thing I wanted to say. You are often that person that gives. It's maybe time for you to also ask for a little bit of that back. But I feel like you are a comfort to others. You are a comfort to others. So thank you very much, CJ. And Tanita. I would love a message on what I need to know, please. So would I. What do I need to know? Yes. Hmm.
You're stronger than you think, Chinita. They want you to access your feminine, divine feminine power within your solar plexus, and stand up and be courageous. Try not to allow the wind of the circumstances outside of you affect your stability inside of you. I see this really strong, like iron core inside your solar plexus that is just, it's there and it's available for you to, engage with. And I feel as though, like this happens, I go this way. This happens, I go this way. The weather, and I go this way. I feel like you've been just kind of being tossed around by circumstances and exterior type of uh, extenuating circumstances, which, a lot of us do understand. And it's a difficult time of year, but they want you to know that this is the time where you pull on your bootstraps and pull on your boots and by your bootstraps and stand up tall with that iron core that's inside of you. It's through this adversity that we find our strength, and that we find our fortitude, and who we truly are. So they want you to rely on this and expect this. Expect that you will be triumphant in your every endeavor, because you have it inside of you. We all do.
Mm-hmm. I got something very similar too. I first thing I heard with you, Tanita, from your guides, is keep working on yourself. That it sounds like you actually have done a lot of inner work on yourself, particularly in learning to love yourself, right? Learning to appreciate yourself and not beating yourself up over things. Um, so there's just saying, don't be so hard, and you're working toward that. They say that you have a very, very powerful spirit within. This is what Jean was saying. I feel strength with you, like major strength, but not to be confused with forcefulness. And your challenge is to recognize the difference, the line between maybe over asserting yourself, and recognizing that inner power that you have to share with the world. So let's see. Yeah. And again, they're sort of showing me conflict. And try not to, engage in conflict to show that power. Instead, um, let it shine from the inside. It will show whether you, use that maybe kind of combative and a combative approach or not. It's going to show. All right. So the more powerful effect is when it's that subtle energy that comes forward. Okay. Lots of conflict. Sorry about that, Tanita, but I think you can overcome this with it. They're showing me like soft words using, using, you know, more like, um, what am I trying to say? Transmitting the energy without, conflict, however that may be, like from the inside. Okay. Well, very good. Hopefully you will resolve that conflict very soon, Tinita. Thank you. We have Jamie's Cowboys. Are me and the person on my mind done for good? Is our relationship ending for good, or what do I do? I'm going to use my handy dandy dowsing rods for this, but you go ahead and do
Yes.
what you do.
I'm so glad you said that, Kelly, because you inspired me. I
Did you get
just
them?
received my own dowsing rods, and I wanted to see if you would play with me today. So I'm going to
I
use
would
my
love
dowsing.
to.
I have not practiced with them very much, so they take forever to move. But I'm
Yeah, they
sure
take a
once I
little
start,
time to tune into your energy. I'm going to slide back so you can see this a little bit better.
yeah, you're just
Do
gonna have
you
to
have
trust me
you?
on this one.
So I'll show you what my yes looks like. Okay, show me yes. That's my yes. When they cross over, not everybody's are that way. And then show me no. There we go. Okay, fun, aren't they? Okay, so Jamie's cowboy. Okay, are they finished for good? I don't want to influence you, Jean, but when I ask, are they finished for good? They immediately went out. I think you guys have a few more rounds in you. Um, let's see. Is this relationship meant to last?
Yeah, mine's moving slowly to it's not over for good.
I don't, and I am also getting this may not last forever. I think you guys kind of have some things, karmic things to work out with each other. So, hold on to your hat, and, hang in there. But it sounds to me like you guys have a little bit of time yet with each
And
other.
relationships, life is about relationships, and relationships are here to help us to learn about ourselves. And it'll teach us about ourselves when maybe we, maybe we overshare, or maybe we were not tactful, or maybe we were a little too busybody, or maybe we were not so open when somebody was looking for some advice, or maybe there's we learn about ourselves. We learn what is and we learn about other people and the sensitivities, and there's with the frequency and vibration changing in humanity through the evolution, and especially in this spiritual community, that a lot of people are very, very sensitive, including ourselves. And it's important to be as delicate and as gentle and as subtle as possible with people and their feelings. So feelings get hurt a little easier, um, and we are hurt a little easier. So we may be able to continue with the relationship or the friendship, but it may not be in the degree that that where it was once heading, because now maybe you both have a guard up. Maybe it'll be a little more platonic, so to speak. And I know that it's not platonic or not, but maybe it's a little more professional kind of relationship rather than a personal kind of relationship. So I feel like the relationship will continue, but it may change the energy around it. But ask yourself, what lesson could this be here to teach me? What is it about myself that I need to learn about what happened here? And it's not what you did or didn't do. It's about the lesson and the experience. Because when um, you know, I'm trying to think of somebody. There's always a lesson in it, and the quicker we can get to the lesson and understand about ourselves, the quicker we can move forward. Um, I was just talking about something yesterday and the lesson in it. Oh, I was just talking about, yeah, just a challenge that I had. So this would be like a challenge for you because there was an upset in the relationship. So this challenge, any challenge, many challenges are here to offer us a lesson, a inspiration, a wisdom, a new look or a new perspective. What is it that has changed? What is it that you know now that you didn't know before? What is it that you might consider with another relationship if the same thing were to occur? Just look for the lesson. And a lot of these are really very simple. Do to unto others as you would have them do unto you. It's really quite simple. It's not it's And just be kind to yourself, be gentle with yourself, and chalk it up for experience. But that's what I got.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think you said it all. I feel like that's exactly the sentiment that I was getting. And in the interest of time, we have about 15, maybe a little less than 15 minutes. We will move on. Thank you, Jamie's cowboy. Jamie Cowboy. I don't know if I said that correctly. Okay. Blackface smile. My fiance Johnny, Gemini, and I, Gloria, Capricorn. I would like to ask about his real feelings for me, what his real intentions are about our relationship. Okay, many thanks. Can I go?
Yes, please do.
Okay. I feel blackface smile that I think Johnny respects you and loves you, but I also think he's not. How do I put this? I think he's a little afraid to commit to anything deeper than this. It's almost as if he feels like, maybe he hasn't. Please don't take this the wrong way, but maybe he hasn't explored, sown his wild oats yet, or something like that. But I do think that there's a love there, but it's kind of like a draw back and forth. And what's interesting is Gemini and Capricorn. I think they're opposite on the wheels. So you do have some conflict with each other. That there's a little bit of, like things that you don't always see eye to eye. And so you might not feel like things when you're with him flow like water. It might be a little bit like sandpaper. Or that, he says up and you say down. Sometimes it feels a little bit like that to me. I think I'm going to try to keep this short so I can get some of those questions in. But I feel like he does love you, but this is about himself, kind of worrying about tying himself down or something like that. I think it's a very common feeling that some young men go through. Yeah.
So,
Okay.
Gloria, have you asked him? Do you ask him each and every day? Do you say, Johnny, who do you love? Who's your favorite girl? Who's your best fiance? Ask him every day and make sure. And he's going to say you are, but maybe this is what you're lacking. Maybe you need to hear from him that you are his one and only. And he's not going to think about telling you that, because guys are just not that way. But I know I need to hear it. And it's important for us to ask, Who's your favorite girl? Who do you love? Who's your, whatever it is that you can think of.
Mhm.
Who's the best chicken maker?
Who
Who's
do you
the
wanna
best
be with for the rest of your life?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ask
Yes.
the questions. Ask the questions. Make sure, even though you know what his answer is going to be, it's going to help you and it's going to strengthen to the trust. It's the trust. He needs you to trust him. And if you need to hear him say this in order for you to trust him, I'm telling you, the love language for men is trust. Say, Johnny, I trust you. And if you do, and if you don't trust him, then you might want to take another look at this. But if
Mhm.
you do trust him, tell him that you
Mhm.
trust him. Men need to be trusted and women need to be loved. And you say, who do you love? Who's gives you the best back
Mhm.
rubs? Who gives you, whatever
Right.
it is that you're doing each and every day? And he'll just giggle at it, but he'll keep telling you. And it in spite of it all, it's really important for us to understand our love languages are and what each other needs. But I do want to caution you that you are asking this question. And if you are not getting out of the relationship something that you need, perhaps there is another uh, way of enhancing their relationship and building on it, and maybe planning date nights, even though it's just you and him and you're both in the apartment and nobody's around. Still make a date night, make a plan to
Mhm.
spend time together and not just
Right.
look at our phones all night.
Right.
And if it's not something that's right for you, have the courage to, maybe consider ending it and or putting a pause, taking some time away from each other and see how you
Mhm.
feel, you know?
Very good advice. Right. Yeah. Okay, thank you so much. Thank you so much. We're gonna move on to Mr. Craig Dixon. I'm planning a trip to the reservation. Is Clara ready for the trip? Any advice? Thanks.
You gotta invite me too, Craig. I'd love to go to the reservation with you.
Yes.
I think Clara might be taking a back seat on this. I think she's going to be
Oh,
doing an observation and she knows that this is your thing, and she's going to want to experience it with you. But I think she's going to be in the observation role. Um, so you may not hear from her or interact with her on the frequency that you're used to, but just know that she wants you to have your own experience and have your focus on what is needed when you do go there. That's what I feel.
I always hear this sassy voice with Clara too. And she says, "Honey, I'll be ready. I'm always with you." That's the feeling she gives me. Um, she like I think that might be right with Jean what Jean said, that she's just along for the ride. You're driving the bus here, or the whatever you're I know you have all those fancy cars, Craig. But she's kind of along for the ride regardless of what you do. Um, and so, you can always rest assured she's there if you want her there. But I don't feel like she thinks that you need her there for this to be a successful trip, right? That you have other business and other, relationships that you need to connect into there. So I think that you'll be, she's always there and she's ready. But I think that you can just trust that it's going to be a good, it's a needed trip to the reservation, and it'll be fine. It'll be great. So I say just have fun. Have a good time. Thanks, Craig. Debbie at Three Shifting Veils. My oldest son is mad because I didn't want to be around my MAGA family for Thanksgiving. What is the energy around us, please? Oh dear. Oh dear. I'm getting a ringing in my ear.
Is he one of them, or is he just wanting to see the rest of your family? I can't. Is he one of Debbie? Can you just let us know? I can't tell that. Not unless Do you know, Debbie, do you know if he might be
I
one
don't
of
know,
them?
Debbie. Mm-mm.
Or if he's, like, living with you and is not able to see the rest of his family because of your choice. I'm not sure. But,
And oh, go ahead.
no, go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say, I'm hearing like right away, my ear started to ring. I hear messages in my right ear, and I was hearing transcend the, you know, anger and rise above, right? So I think what they're asking you to do, Debbie, and I know this is difficult, is to be the bigger person. Um, and, kind of, it doesn't mean you have to be around these people all the time, but show your grace and show your kindness and show your son that you love him regardless of whatever. I have a feeling that her son is part of the MAGA family member. She said, "I don't know." But regardless, be a good example to your son. Rise above it, and I think that your relationship will be just fine. I think what he's looking for from you is just he wants to know that you are the loving mom that he knows, that he expects from you. So she says, "No, he is married, but difficult since he had an NDE when he was a teen." Okay. I think he's just looking for some consistency, is what I'm feeling from you, Debbie. And whatever that means to you, you're going to have to put that into your own context. Yeah.
Mhm. I think
Okay.
it's important for us to exercise our own boundaries, and if you don't feel safe or secure or welcome, it's important to feel okay to sit this one out. But it's also important to maybe FaceTime and engage and still have another way of, connecting with the family. I don't know what the degree is or how, your relationship is, only you do, but it's important for you to exercise your own boundaries and to extend yourself to the extent that you feel comfortable. Um, there are different degrees. We all know this, but it's really important for us to try. I would not put yourself in the center of something like that. That is just not. It's just not in your best interest.
Mhm.
However, I feel as though extending one-on-one, at a different time, maybe a weekend before or a weekend after, or at a different time, where you can have a little bit more control of when you're going to get there and when you're going to leave or something.
Mhm.
Just, change it so you feel a little more comfortable with the circumstances.
Mhm.
But it's just not easy, and it's really on an individual basis. And, um, you know, it's really important for us to still extend that, um, acknowledgement that family comes first.
Mhm. I do think too that your son wants a relationship with you. He just may not be able to express it at this time, and he's got his own things going on, but I think he does want a relationship with you, and I think things will improve with you. Just give it time. Okay, thank you, Debbie. And we have Christine. We're getting close to the hour. Well, we're at the hour right now. So should we just take this one last? I'm sorry for anybody who hasn't received a message, but maybe next time. Or tune into Jean's show this afternoon. That sounds fun. All right, Christine says, I have this cat that is visiting me currently, and I had a dream of the same cat with, don't know what that means, something marking 6 years ago, prior to this cat showing up, called Meow Meow. Is this my cat in another lifetime? You know what I feel, Christine, is I feel like this cat that visited you 6 years ago. Um, I don't know if it's from another lifetime, but I'm feeling as if the cat that showed up in your dreams, um, let's see, visiting me, I had a dream of the same cat marking 6 years ago. I feel like that was a foreshadowing. You were having a precognitive dream. from 6 years ago that this cat was coming into your life. It feels very, very much like you know, you may have, I think you're a psychic dreamer, um, Christine, and that this cat was just showing its, saying hello to you 6 years ago to let you know that so that you would recognize it when it showed up in your life now. Yeah.
I'm just
What
a
do you
little confused.
I think she
What was
had the
6 years
dream
ago prior to that, this cat showing up called?
had the dream 6 years ago prior to this cat showing up. I don't know if the other one was Meow Meow or this one, but I think she had a dream of the cat with the same markings 6 years ago.
Oh. Okay. I'm not getting a previous lifetime, but I do concur with Kelly that it could have been a premonition, but 6 years is a really long premonition, but,
I'm amazed
yeah.
that you remembered it from 6 years ago, honestly. I don't remember my dreams. But if it was that, memorable of a dream, I would say yes, it was kind of like a visitation from his spirit. Would you agree?
Yeah, and she said, yeah, the dream was 6 years ago, and the cat currently is Meow
Meow
Meow.
meow.
So, yeah, I feel like, I do feel like, this is a premonition, but that's amazing. That I feel as though, what they say is, how you have a deja vu, and they say that before this lifetime, we're given a synopsis of what our life is going to be, and we decide what we want, what we don't want, what we expect. And sometimes when we see these things ahead of time, it was in when we're still a soul before we come into this incarnation, and they give us that glimpse. So I do feel as though it's a spiritual connection. I don't know if it's exactly a past life, but I feel as though this could either be like a spirit guide coming in, or just a connection that's meant to be for you here in this lifetime. So I think it's significant, and I think it's purposeful, but I can't, it's hard to say if it was a past life, but it's definitely meant for you. And yeah, that's a beautiful
Yes.
realization there, Christine.
Yeah, she says that makes sense. Sounds like she had another dream, uh, a psychic dream prior to this. So you might want to pay more attention to your dreams, Christine. You may get more messages, maybe getting more messages than you know. That's really cool. Rosaire said, "The angels would not allow me to ask my question." Interesting. It would not allow me to post. Oh dear. I don't know why that happens sometimes, Rosaire. Very funny. Well, we are over our time, and Jean is a busy, busy lady, and I have things going on too. So, unfortunately, we're not going to get to all those questions, but I really want to thank you so much for coming here today, Jean, and helping answer some of these questions. I hope it helps some of you in the chat.
It was my pleasure. So much fun, Kelly. I learn a lot from you, and I love, love, love your delivery and your messages, and just the diversity that in the background that you have. I really enjoy. I learn a lot from you. So it's fun having these collaborations, and I'm looking forward to doing it again.
And I do too. So thank you so much. I appreciate it, Jean. And everybody tune into Jean this afternoon at, did you say, I'm sorry, you said 4 o'clock
Yes. 4 o'clock
Pacific?
Eastern.
Yes,
Hmm.
with the Crone Zone. That's going to be a fun show. All right. Thank you, everybody, and have a great one. And we'll see you soon. Bye bye.
Bye bye.